Stop, I'm David Tian, Ph.D., and this video is a message for achievers. Masculinity for the intelligent man. I'm David Tian, Ph.D., and this is Man Up! This is David Tian, Ph.D., and for over the past 10 years, actually 11 years, I've been helping over 100,000 people in over 87 countries attain success, happiness, and fulfillment in life and love. And welcome to the Man Up Show. This is episode probably around 227, not exactly sure. And we are at the balcony club of my favorite mall, which is kind of weird to say this is a mall. It's next to the Park Hyatt, which you can see, in the other direction. Anyway, got a question here from the Man Up Facebook group. Actually, it was a private message to me because it was a forwarded message, a forwarded screenshot that the person took. And I don't normally answer private message questions, but this one was well put. So he said, what do you think of this Instagram post? Because it really captures well how I feel right now. So I looked at the post and I thought, okay, this is a good way to go. So for the first time ever, I'm going to be answering a question that somebody else sent to me that's somebody else's question. So anyway, it's a second order question. And let's get into it. So, and the post goes like this. It's not all sunshine and fairy tales. I get really down on myself at times. I compare myself to others. I lose my temper and I lose my patience. By the way, I'm holding this because it's kind of loud in the background, but I thought the background's nice. So anyway, here we go. For me, it stems from my desire and ambition to have and be more. It's a blessing and a curse. So I'm going to actually, instead of just reading it all and then giving you my analysis, I'm going to do it along the way before I forget. Right. So it says, it stems from my desire and ambition to have more and be more. So that sounds really good. To have and be more, it sounds really good. Desire and ambition to have and be more is, what would you call it? Like it's treading that fine line. So you'll see some more of this as it comes up. I think every high-achieving man knows where I'm coming from on this. And we do. So a lot of the work that I do, a lot of the new podcasts, I got this new podcast, so I got this cool new shirt that we designed. And the podcast is really picking up. By the way, there's a new podcast group for men and women because our topics in the podcast are a lot higher level, you could say, than the Man Up group. One of the problems about the Man Up show is that what I cover is basically framed by the questions that I get. So I have to go to where the questions are. Whereas the podcast is about where I want to go, and where my guests want to talk about. So it's a lot, I guess, higher level in that sense. So the issues and topics there are for both men and women. Anyway, so in the podcast, I've been talking a lot about high achievers. So the podcast is aimed at achievers, and a lot of my courses, like Invincible, like Lifestyle Mastery, Masculine Mastery, excuse me. It's a gin and tonic. It's a Long Yan, what is it? Long Yan Earl Grey gin and tonic. Anyway, and there's a section that begins all of those courses that basically it's a 20-minute audio for achievers. And there's something that achievers have that is a good thing, and it's a curse. Like he says, it's a blessing and a curse. But if you don't address the curse and you just think, oh, it's just a downside, but we got to keep going, then you'll never actually achieve satisfaction and fulfillment. Nothing lasting. So the achiever's curse is that he will never be fulfilled for very long, and will never be satisfied for very long. And this post that this person forwarded to me is a great illustration of that, of the curse. And of why, even if you get the thing that you're working so hard for, you still won't be happy. So let's get into it. So every high-achieving man knows where I'm coming from. Every high-achieving woman also. The results can't seem to come fast enough. And although I know I'm putting in the effort and building that foundation for future success, all caps, I want it all, and I want it all right now. So this is the problem. So what does he want? So he's only going to feel good about himself, this desire for more and more, and ambition for more and more. He's only going to feel good about himself when he gets the thing that he's aiming for, whether it's more money. Often these are monetary goals, but it could be other fitness goals. It could be girl goals or getting attraction from the opposite sex goals. Whatever your fucking goal is, these achievers will only feel happy when they get the A. on the grade or the A on the test or the paper, right? They only get satisfaction and allow themselves to feel good when they get that goal. But if you've been an achiever for any length of time, you know that when you get the A, you're still not very happy for very long. Like you can bask in the glory of the A or of the achievement for like an hour or a day, maybe a week. But a real achiever sitting on the beach for more than a couple days is going to start getting really antsy. Like I just got a little beard trim. And like it went longer than expected because the guy had upsold me on like a razor trim. So anyway, I was like being suffocated by this brilliantly fragrant towel over my face, and the whole time my legs were going because I hadn't done squats and deadlifts in a while, and I was like, yeah, I'm really ready to go. I want to go and kick something, right? And that's part of the achiever's curse. We can never really just relax. We have that problem of not being able to just let go. We want to achieve, we want to do more. And that can be a good thing when a few conditions are met. But this dissatisfaction that this person in this post is talking about is the downside of it, is the bad part of it. I can't open this screen. Okay. Which is that he wants it all and wants it all right now. Well, why aren't you, sir, having it right now? So the first thing I would say is you haven't lost yourself in the process yet. So when you're impatient to have desire and ambition to be more, but you're not enjoying the process right the fuck now, there's something wrong. Like there's always going to be stuff that you don't enjoy as much as there are other things you enjoy, right? Like when you excel, you have to do these things that maybe aren't like that fun. Maybe you're gonna have to do some boring reps or whatever it is, right? You have to put in the work just beyond the part where you're tired and wish you could sleep a little bit right now. But too bad, you got to get this extra couple hours done. So that's always going to be there. But like, if you're not enjoying that process of like, even enjoying the process of, all right, I'm putting in the overtime now. And enjoying that, even enjoying the exhaustion of it. It's sort of like my wife just started running, like long distance running, training for a marathon eventually. And I'm not a runner at all. I've never been a runner, long distance runner, since we started running in grade 5 or whatever. I've been a sprinter. I enjoy the 100 meter, the 50 meter, the 200 meter. I start at about the 300 meter mark and stop enjoying it. And to know what that is like the 300 meter mark, you do the 400 meters, your legs are burning. You're now moving into a different feeling, right? It's like lifting heavy versus a longer cardio workout, right? It's a different type of burn. And even like on a 15 rep, for like bodybuilder types, I guess weightlifters, 15 reps feels really different from 3 reps, right? And it's a different type of pain. And if you're not used to it, but you can get to the point where you enjoy whichever type of pain you didn't enjoy before, because it's all part of the process. It's part of the journey. Even waking up early, whatever the fuck it is that you need to do to get that thing done, you embrace the process, you can enjoy it. And the key to enjoying life as an achiever is that you learn to enjoy it now, not when you get that goal 10 years later. Like a lot of these when you think big, hairy, audacious goals, you're thinking like 10 years down the road, right? If they're really that big, if they're really that audacious, they're not going to be covered. You're not going to be able to attain them in a short period of time. So if you really put off your enjoyment of life, of how you think about yourself, of your satisfaction with life right now, until you get that goal, you're fucked. And that's the achiever's curse. So I wish I could tell this person who posted this, and I did tell the person who sent me the private message, that it's about the process, enjoying the process. There we go. Okay, so first, number one, enjoy the process. Number 2, gratitude. So this lesson first came home to me after like the umpteenth Tony Robbins event, where before like Tony Robbins is a good case study of this because he's constantly priming in you dissatisfaction with your current financial state, with your current physical state, whatever it is, because he needs to upsell you on the next thing, right? Mastery, university, or platinum, whatever it is, right? So he has to put some dissatisfaction in you. This is just straight up marketing and advertising in order for you to take the next step. And that, if you don't see the bigger picture, you think that sucks, that's unethical, that's not good. But there is a bigger picture, which is he always primes you with gratitude first. So yes, it's good to want the next thing, but you shouldn't push yourself to the next thing. And that's something we've been talking about in the podcast, Henry Chung and I, for a long time. Push versus pull motivation. We actually stole that terminology from Tony Robbins, who probably stole it from someone else. I don't remember. But it's a nice way to think about it. So this person in this post is talking a lot about pushing. He's trying to push himself forward. And this is a common military thing. Like when you don't want to do it, it's not that you really love to do the thing that you're slogging through. It's that you're forcing yourself to go through it for delayed gratification, for something way, way down the road. And that's a horrible life. That's the achiever's life. And I've lived that for decades. that's not a very satisfactory life. From the outside, it looks great, but from the inside, it's just okay. Right? And so if you want to have a great inside life and a great outside life, you've got to learn how to be a great achiever intrinsically. In other words, what that means is, remember, lose yourself in the process, enjoy the process. And secondly, the gratitude, being grateful for the right now. Like being grateful for even the ability to grind, even the ability and the freedom to have all of these things you're enjoying, and that you're willingly putting yourself through all of these paces to get this goal, and that's something you can actually do. And that's amazing. There's so many things that people who are watching this right now can be grateful for, even if they haven't received or achieved that goal, that big, hairy, audacious goal really far down the road, but being just grateful for even the little things, your health, the well-being of your loved ones, etc., right? So, lose yourself in the process. Gratitude is number 2. So, I'm going to keep going here. It doesn't make... Okay, so it keeps me pointed in the right direction and my eyes fixed on the prize. I have shitty days like everyone else. It just means I care. I care about my process. I care about my success. I care about my results. When I'm feeling down and impatient with myself, I stay focused and don't let those feelings deter me. I use it as the fuel to keep charging through it all. Okay, it sounds really, highfalutin. I don't know what the right word is, highfalutin, but high and might, or like, it sounds like he's taking the high road here, but it just means I care. I care about my process. I care about my success. I care about my results. No, you care too much. So a friend of mine wrote a wonderfully titled book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, Mark Manson. I think he sold a lot of books just on the strength of that title, which he tested ahead of time in an article. And I think it's a great title. And I think a lot of achievers need to stop giving a fuck so much. So the achiever's curse is that he needs to achieve in order to feel significant. Okay, that's a really important thing. We achievers need to achieve in order to feel significant. The problem with that is, if significance is the driving force in your life, or one of the driving forces in your life, one of the top driving forces in your life, you will never find happiness. You'll never find lasting happiness. You'll never find fulfillment. You'll never find real satisfaction and enjoyment of life. So you've got to learn to be satisfied and feel significant in yourself. You don't feel significant just because you got the fucking A on the test or the grade or whatever the fuck the A means for you, right? You can't wait until you get that to feel significant. You can feel worthy and significant just in who you are, and give that as a gift to yourself. And look for a goal that pulls you forward, that you don't have to push and beat yourself up to get to. And that's a really important thing. And a lot of achievers, when they stop and ask themselves, why do I have this obsessive need to achieve in order to feel significant? They'll find that when they go through the psychotherapy, that they actually have those needs jammed into their fucking heads by their parents, by their school, by somebody in their childhood who told them they weren't good enough, where they'd only get rewarded if they got the A. And once you free yourself from that, when you're free from the shackles of the shoulds, when you're free from the tyranny of having to achieve in order to feel significant, then you'll find that your life priorities really change. You'll finally see the way, the path, the journey forward to your real fulfillment and love and joy in life. So, give you those 3 things. I'm going to sum it up. Got to get better at summing up things. 1, lose yourself in the process. Stop focusing on the goal as much. Stop delaying your own happiness and satisfaction until you reach the goal. Process. Number 2, be grateful for right now. What are the things you'd be grateful for right now? It's not going to make you complacent. In fact, the gratitude is going to become fuel for your achievement. Okay, number 3, look for a better way, a healthier way, a more sustainable way, and a way that's in your control to meet the need that you have for significance. So you cannot let your life be led by that need for significance. So I'll leave you with those 3 things. Henry Chung and I talk about that a lot, talk about all these issues a lot in the DT Ph.D. podcast. If you haven't gotten on the podcast, get on the podcast. It's all over our webpage, the davidtianphd.com. It's in our YouTube channel. It's wherever. So it's all over. Also, if you're in the Man Up Facebook group, you automatically are able to join the DT Ph.D. podcast group. So go ahead and take advantage of that and join the group before we start closing down that privilege. So join the DT Ph.D. podcast group. Also, we're going to be doing a reading challenge in that DT Ph.D. podcast group. So join the group to get on that reading challenge. Anyway, I'll see you inside the groups. Until then, David Tian signing out. Man up.